Hey guys, my name is Will Walker, and today I'm going to show you 5 ways you can use a jointer. Okay, so let's talk about jointers and what they do and the bits and bobs around them. This is my new Grizzly G656X spiral cutter head jointer. It is an 8-inch wide jointer by 6 feet long. Essentially, it's just 2 dead flat surfaces with a cutter head in the middle and a fence for a reference. The outfeed table is set exactly aligned with the apex of the cutter head, while the infeed table can be raised or lowered to increase or decrease the amount of cut with each pass. The fence can be tilted 45 degrees in either direction, but I generally keep it at 90 degrees to give me a square reference to the table. This jointer has a spiral cutter head versus a straight knife. The benefit of that is you have multiple carbide cutting inserts in a spiral pattern, which helps with tear out on difficult woods. Also, you can pull these out when they get dull or nicked and rotate them 90 degrees and reinstall them to expose a new cutting face, versus having to take the knives out, sharpen them, or get them sharpened and then reinstall them and realign them to the outfeed table. It's not a huge deal to replace straight knives, but this is just way more convenient and way nicer for figured woods. Everything I'm going to do on a jointer can be done on a 6-inch jointer or a benchtop jointer with straight knives as well. Okay, so now that we know what a jointer is, let's learn how to use them. Number 1. Face jointing. As lumber dries, it has a tendency to twist and cup. The first step in the milling process is to get one face of a board flat. Pass the board over the cutter head, keeping the pressure on the outfeed side so you don't transfer the twist. I usually take about a 32nd of an inch per pass. After you have one flat side, you can pass it through your thickness planer to make the opposite side parallel. 2. Edge jointing. Most lumber will have some degree of a crown where the board isn't perfectly straight, so you wanted to make a tabletop or a cutting board and needed to mate multiple boards together. A common way to deal with crown is to edge joint the boards. Pass them over the jointer with the crown up and the flat face against the fence. Then at the table saw, place your newly jointed edge against the fence and rip the board straight. Number 3. Chamfering. Say you need to make a quick chamfer on some stock for trim or for any reason really. Tilt the fence to 45 degrees and reference the fence as you pass the board over the cutter. Just be sure to pay attention to grain direction so you don't get tear out. Number 4. Tapering. This trick is pretty slick, but you do need to remove the guard, so proceed with caution. Mark the halfway point of the overall taper and mark all 4 sides. At the jointer, lower the infeed table to half the amount you want the piece to taper, then rotate the cutter head with the stock as a reference to see where the cut will start. Mark that location on your fence. Then slowly feed the piece from the bottom of the leg over the jointer until the lines you marked match the mark on your fence. Stop the cut there. I'm making a 1/2 inch taper on all 4 sides, so my cut depth is a 1/4 inch deep. Then rotate the piece end for end and use a good push block to put pressure down on the end you just cut to pivot the top of the workpiece up, making a second pass over the jointer, giving you the final taper. Making tapers like this can feel a little foreign, but the results are pretty phenomenal. And number 5. Rabbeting. Now, I know I said you could do all the things I could do on any jointer, but this feature might be limited to most floor-standing jointers that have a rabbeting ledge. Move the guard out of the way and slide the fence over to expose how much of a rabbet you want to make. 3/8 of an inch is a pretty common rabbet size for making picture frames out of 3/4 material. I like making my rabbets in 3 passes, taking 1/8 of an inch with each pass. And there you go, 5 different ways to utilize a jointer. If you have any other uses for a jointer, be sure to let me know in the comments section. I'd love to hear them. If you found this educating or entertaining, consider subscribing and maybe share this with a friend. Thanks for watching.